I'd like to say that Buddhism is not something which is exclusive.
This is the new level of meditation practice, and we will enjoy.
I found the real happiness when I start meditation.
Whatever activities you are doing, you can also put your mind.
Monks use the ubosot for ordinations and for their prayers.
Sawadika. Hello, I'm Vichuda Satolanan. I'm back to be your host today. Miss Chananporn Rotjan will be back soon with her new program. First of all, I would like to give you an overview of our today's program. This is the 21st episode of Meditation for All. Venerable Nicholas has finished his 2 mini-series. First on meditation for beginner, and the second is meditation and self-development. If you are interested to have a copy, write to us at meditationforall.com. Today, he'll start his 3rd mini-series, of which on simple but important concept of Buddhism, law of karma.
Welcome back once again to Meditation for All. This time we have lined up for you a new set of 10 programs which has been dubbed Buddhist Concepts. In fact, it's a follow-on from much of the content which we have already looked at on this program. The first 10 lessons which we studied together was called Meditation for Beginners, and most of that course dealt with the skills and the actual practice of meditation in our daily lives. After that, we followed on with the second set, which was called Meditation and Life, which was more to do with the everyday life and many of the features of life which can either help or hinder our practice of meditation. But I'm sure there are many viewers amongst you, especially those who have been watching some of the other broadcasts here on the DMC channel, who are wondering whether there is actually more to it than just meditation, and perhaps more interested to look at some of the other aspects of Buddhist culture, but perhaps have not been able to make so much sense of this as you would like. So over the next 10 weeks, we're taking the opportunity to go in a very simple and sequential way through some of the most important Buddhist concepts, especially concerning the law of karma, and hopefully these sort of contexts will be able to help you to make your way through the other content which you find on the DMC channel in a more informed way. Many people who are interested in meditation suddenly feel very shocked when they come to the idea of accepting or embracing ideas which belong to Buddhism. But perhaps to help those of you who feel some reluctance in this respect, I'd like to say that Buddhism is not something which is exclusive. It's not something which is setting itself up as a competitor to other sorts of religious belief. But in fact, it is a label which we apply to anything which helps us towards the experience of enlightenment, because the word Buddha itself actually means enlightened or happy or joyous, and anything which you think which you are doing to help you towards these qualities, in fact you could say it is part of Buddhist culture or part of Buddhist concepts. There are many features of Buddhism which sometimes lead people to say that Buddhism is not actually a religion at all. Some people go as far to say that Buddhism is just a philosophy. Others say it is a lifestyle. But I think as a rule of thumb, it's safe to say that there are some aspects of Buddhism which require some steps of faith. It's not that you can take everything on board on face value. It's not that everything in Buddhism can be explained just in terms of material phenomena. So I'm not going to pretend that Buddhism is nothing more than humanism. But as regards taking steps of faith, I'd like to reassure viewers that taking steps of faith is nothing so scary as it might seem. In fact, in our daily lives we take steps of faith the whole of the time. But sometimes we like to refer to them instead as educated guesses. Sometimes we like to call them benefit of the doubt. But in fact, every time we get up in the morning, we have to go through our lives with beliefs or expectations about the world. Even getting out of our bed and standing on the floor, we have the expectation that the floor is not going to give away under our feet or bring any sort of harm to us. So it's normal for people to go through their lives with some degree of expectations. But if we are sensible people, if we're not gullible people, then the expectations we have are based on information, they are based on experience, and in fact most of what we're going to be looking at in terms of Buddhist concepts are things which have been arrived at as a result of information, as a result of practice. And if you wish to verify them for yourself, then you can also re-verify them, although it may take a long time to do so, but all of the truths which we find, all the things which we find mentioned in these programs, you can in fact verify for yourself by your own experience, especially through your meditation. But what I'd like to say is that Buddhism is more than just a philosophy, it's more than just a lifestyle. There are some educated guesses involved, but these educated guesses can be made on the basis of your practice, and they are not exclusive things which mean that you have to give up any other sorts of conclusions or expectations which you've had about the world. In fact, they are complementary to many other good things which you've learned about your life. So, with this proviso that there are some things in the course which maybe you have to take and think about for a bit, not just to accept on face value, then we will start to work through our course little by little, and hopefully by the end of these 10 sessions you'll be able to have a lot more idea about some of the connections in life which we normally fail to see. Normally when we talk about connections in life, we think that anything which is not physically connected cannot have an effect on something else. But what we do in Buddhism, and why I've started by saying that we do need to explore a little deeper and accept some things perhaps on the benefit of the doubt in the beginning, is that because in Buddhism we do make connections which sometimes in other areas of knowledge or science fail to be made. For example, in Buddhism we talk about levels of connection on 3 different levels. The first level of description, which we've talked about mostly up to now, is the level of description of the mind. If we talk about the mind itself, this sphere of brightness which we have here in our center, which I'm sure many of you have discovered more and more now as a result of your meditation, is that the sort of hindrances which get in the way of the brightness in the mind are things which we call impurities or defilements. The things like the greed, the hatred, and the delusion in our minds, which on a very small scale, the micro scale in our lives, can have effects which have much bigger implications in our life. Because of greed or hatred in our lives, we can find that our lifestyle is affected so that we fail to get happiness in life. So the level of the mind is the first level of description which I'd like to talk to you about. The second level of description which I'd like to talk about, and which is also very much present in our Buddhist concepts, is the level of our lifestyle. Just as lifestyle can be something which is going well or has a lot of obstacles in it, and we also find that our mind can have either good or bad days. Just as lifestyle can go well or badly, then we have to look for the reasons why sometimes our life can have areas in it which we find as hindrances. In terms of Buddhist culture or Buddhist concepts, we would call the black spots in our lifestyle our various forms of behaviors which we might call unwholesome behaviors. So whenever such unwholesome behaviors crop up in our life or in our midst in society, then it shows that somehow our lifestyle is being affected for the worse. So just as the mind, which is naturally in good condition, can be affected by defilements such as greed, hatred or delusion to have a lesser quality, then our lifestyle can be affected to have a lesser quality by the various sorts of behaviors in our life which would be considered unwholesome. On the third level of description, I'd like to talk about the world in terms of the environment. The environment's actually very topical these days, and often we address the environment as if it were in complete isolation from any other factors in our lives. What we see is that normally our world is in good shape. We have green trees, we have unpolluted lakes, nice atmosphere, clear skies. All of these are things which we associate with an environment which is natural and unpolluted. But within that, usually once we have more and more of our industrial activities going on, we find that even the natural environment can have its black spots in terms of pollution, which may detract from the natural beauty of the environment and even eventually come back to us in terms of lack of clean drinking water or natural disasters in terms of floods or storms. So we have three different levels of description. We have the level of the mind, we have the level of our lifestyle, and we also have the level of the environment. If we take these three in isolation, we might think that there's nothing to connect the three. And this is why many people who are working as environmentalists seem to believe that it's by helping the environment that the environment can become better. But in Buddhism we make a connection between the three, a connection which perhaps is not made elsewhere. And we say that the reason why our environment is suffering, the reason why our environment has pollution, is because the people living in the environment have lifestyles which have unwholesome behaviors in them. The reason why people have lifestyles with unwholesome behaviors is because their minds are polluted by defilements. So on all three levels we find a parallel between the natural pure state of the mind, lifestyle or the environment, and the pollution by the unnatural aspects which come into our lives, whether it be defilements on the level of the mind, whether it be unwholesome behaviors on the level of our lifestyle, or whether it be pollution on the level of the environment. And we'd say that even on the level of the environment, things always come back to individual behaviors, individual quality of mind. And this is why in Buddhism, although we appreciate and we rejoice that so many people are interested in the environment these days, what we find is that at its roots, the real cause for environmental destruction, in fact, is coming from the attitudes in people's minds. It's because of their greed that we are overloading the environment. It's because of their carelessness that they are throwing litter. It's because of their lack of responsibility that they are polluting water sources instead of thinking of their generations to come. So in Buddhism, our attitude is always to come back to individual people and individual quality of mind. So even though we may be dealing with very broad concepts such as the environment or lifestyle of people throughout the world, but we never escape the factor of our mind and what we can do to purify our mind. So over the next few weeks we're going to be looking at a little bit further, making a few more connections which perhaps will become easier for you to see as time goes on. Today I've taken a long shot and made a connection between three levels of description in the world. But in fact there are much more levels of description than this which I'd like to talk about. Especially the aspects of coincidence are things which are not often talked about in serious or scientific circles. But in Buddhism we talk about management of coincidence so that we can manage the coincidences that happen in our life so that we end up with more positive coincidences happening than negative ones. It may sound like also a fairy story, but we'll see how we could do this within the context of what we call the law of karma. It's not something which is completely beyond the pale, but it's something which if you open up your heart and you can gradually allow some of these concepts to seep in to your awareness and attitudes, before long you'll find that in fact they do start to make some sense. and they do start to be able to explain many things which otherwise it's very hard to explain purely in mechanical ways. So for this first episode of the Meditation for All Buddhist Concept sub-series, I'd like to say welcome to the course, and I'd like to say that next time on this show we will be looking a little bit further in our Buddhist concepts at what we actually mean by origins in the Buddhist sense. In Buddhism we also have the idea of Genesis, and in fact the Genesis legend in Buddhism explains a lot about how we saw things in the beginning and help us to look back in our history to see that how we are living in the present day isn't in fact the ideal way to live, but in fact there were times which were better than this. So that's something to look forward to next week. For today, thank you all for listening in, and look forward to seeing you all again on Meditation for All the same time next week.
Following Buddhist culture, we'll meet Reverend Biyasiro as usual. He will lead us to self-meditation. And there will be interview session as usual. We'll meet our friend who will share his experience on how meditation has changed his life for better. And there is change from body and mind solution to a tour on the temple. Started today with Wat Pratamakai in Pathum Thani, Thailand. The temple where meditators exceeds 100,000 on Buddhist festive days. Stay tuned.
Welcome everyone to session 1 of meditation session, that is part 3. This is 21 classes anyway. เอามาหมดเลยนะ Welcome everyone to this meditation class. Believe it or not, we have come up to session 1 of part 3. 20 classes so far. We have learned basically the concept of the turning point and how to get there, how to relax, and how to maintain our existence over there. But this is the new level of meditation practice, and we will enjoy more meditation time together. The speech in this session would be slower, allowing the mind to relax even more and allow us more time to maintain tranquility in the center of the body. If you are a newcomer, as always, I want to mention, don't worry, we can join the class at any time. This is universal to everyone. Now, let's start meditate together. Now, let's start meditation together. Choose your own sitting position that you like best. Find the best corner at your home place. You may sit on the chair. You may sit deep right in the cushion. You may sit on the floor and sit cross-legged like a Buddha statue, or like how I am sitting now. That is your choice. It's okay on your sitting position. Now, just close the eyes so slowly. Closing the eyes is quite important. Make sure you don't squeeze the eyelids so tight. When we press the eyelids tight, instead of relaxation, you're increasing tense. Tension will grow. But if we just allow the eyelids to touch each other, we begin to relax. Relaxation is the first priority if we want to meditate successfully. So we relax the whole body from top to toes. Allow the skin, the feeling, all the nerves, everything that belongs to the body. Let tension go away. Let the mass volume of relaxation comes into the body. It is like we get dipped into the water, the liquid of relaxation. So relaxation takes over the whole organism of physical life. Allow relaxation increases in us. We shall wait with contentment when relaxation increases, and we start to like the moment of better relaxation. Even the mind is doing nothing. Meanwhile, we enjoy the moment when we feel better inside. Now remind ourselves of the existence of the turning point as before. The turning point here is inside the abdomen, right in the middle of the stomach. It is where the in-breath starts to turn out-breath. It is below the lungs, down to the center of the body. In the Oriental world, this is the seat of life. This is the point we call the seat of life. And life begins from here. Since the moment we are in the womb, in the warm womb of the mother, life begins over here, and the energy starts from here, the power of life. Let the mind stay at peace over here for a little moment together. Over this point of tranquility and stillness, life is a glory. Let the bright light of the silver moon shine through our transparent body. The body turns lighter, lighter, and we weigh less and less. The whole structure of the body would turn transparent. we have just a thin drawing line structure, letting the mass of physical body be gone, and we enjoy the state of being transparent, allowing the bright silvery moon shine onto the center of the body. The turning point receives the silvery moon, the bright light, and the bright light shines over the entire transparent body. Let this shining process continue. According to the Oriental philosophy, life is bright if we turn the light on. The mind has the nature of being bright, and now we are turning our inner light on by accepting, by receiving the silvery light of the bright moon. Bright light of life is shining in the center of the body. Enjoy the light of life inside the body. This is the energy of life, because this is the seed of life, and the energy will start from here, where we focus the mind on. Let this special peaceful moment continue for a longer while. Enjoy the bright and tranquil moment together. Even though the imagination may not so real, but the feeling is so right. It is bright inside the center. The imagination may not be that real, but the feeling is really, really right. It is bright, shining aglow, because we have turned the light on, the light of life. Life in reality is the eternal tide of rise and fall. Life could be up and down, but in meditation, the mind doesn't move. Life could be active and move around here and there, everywhere and every time. But the mind, when the mind focuses at the center, at the station of peace, the mind never moves. The mind is always motionless in the center. As time passes by, physical body will get older. But as time passes by, the mind gets stronger. When we meditate, the mind gets more and more refined. So we enjoy each moment of time that passes by quickly in our life. Meditation is the key, is the cure of aging. We are still more and more powerful in our meditative mind. When we meditate, we are the person of wisdom. Believe it or not, we don't get scared. We don't get carried away, too excited, too frightened, too anxious about the life that is rising and falling like the eternal tide of rise and fall. We shall stay smart, we stand firm, we can live our life in the world of passion and love. Life continues smart and firm, together with love and passion. Every good combination of life originates from meditation. So, we meditate often, life could be in very good balance. And we turn the light of life on. The center is shining like we have the bright moon or the bright sun shining inside. And life could be happier than ever. So let the light of life continue, days and nights, 24/7. Any time of the life is shining bright, because by means of meditation we have turned the light on. It is always on, yielding energy for us to live our life smart. Remember to meditate often in order to turn the light of life on. When it is on, it is safe and sound, and we could enjoy life, both inner and outer, the external world and the internal feeling could go well, get along well together as long as we meditate. Ladies and gentlemen, even though time is up, we shall open up slowly, but the light inside is always shining. It is always shining, even though we open up and resume our external activities. This is the immediate and sudden fruits from meditation, waiting for everyone to explore and discover by themselves by means of meditation. Hope you like it and continue meditation for your own benefits. Let's enjoy meditation again next time. Have big success, big progress in meditation always. สวัสดี See you later.
สวัสดีค่ะ I'm รมฤดีเวชสุนทรเทพ I'm working with Thai Airways International Company Limited and this is my two daughters Suporn and Sion. Today I would like to tell you about the benefit of meditation. As a mother of two daughters, a housewife, a working woman, I had to play many roles in life. I found the real happiness when I start meditation, which is when I was pregnant my second daughter, which is 18 years ago. I found that the real happiness of life is not come from money, jewelries or anything else, except it comes from my mind. I would like to tell you about the benefit of meditation, which comes into three parts. The first one is about my health. The second one is about my job, and the third one is about my family. As I told you, I have two daughters. Actually, I have three pregnancies. The third one, it was 9 years ago. It was in 1996. It's a full term of pregnancy. It was 5 days behind the expected date. So that's why the doctor asked me to go to the hospital to induce the labor. It's about 9 a.m. in the morning. So the doctor gave me the intravenous to induce the labor. Everything goes well, but I remember about an hour later, the amniotic bag is ruptured. Actually, it was normal for the normal labor, but after that, about 5 or 10 minutes, I start to have difficulty in breathing, and it getting worse and worse. So I called the nurse. Besides that, I start to have very strong pain start from my skull down to my spinal cord, and I also have the very strong heart pain. It seemed like somebody with the iron hand squeezed my heart. I cannot breathe at all. But I remember at that time I started to do meditation. I have full conscious. So the nurse gave me the oxygen. Everything seemed like go back to normal. And then the doctor arrived. She checked the fetal heart and she told me that the fetal heart is stopped. I must have to go to the operating room immediately to have the cesarean section. And after that, besides giving the oxygen, I start to have the body shivering from cold, which I cannot control. The situation at that moment is so serious. I felt that it was between death and life, but I have the full conscious with my meditation. And after the operation, doctor told me that it was because of the amniotic fluid leak into my blood vessel, which is 1 in a million. But I do believe that I survived because of the meditation at that period. So this is about the health which is concerned to my life. And then the next part that I would like to tell you about the benefit of meditation is about my job. I used to be the flight attendant. As you know that to be the flight attendant we have to work hard. The job is stressful and have to deal with all kinds of people from all over the world. Meditation helps me to be more optimistic and more understanding in this kind of job. I can give them better service, give them more smile, and I'm quite sure that the passenger that I serve, they will love my airline. Even though now today I'm stopped flying already, but anyway I still do meditation every day. And that's all about the experience from our family about meditation. I would like you to try to meditate also. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ Hi, my name is Jinda Linsakun. I am 28 years old. I do water treatment system and I teach English as a part-time. And I get to know about the meditation when I was 10 years old. And today I'm here to share about the meditation experience. the way I meditate. I starting from sitting with my right leg over my left leg and my right hand over my left hand with palms facing upward, with my right index finger touching my left thumb, and I close my eyes slowly and gently and breathe in and out deeply a couple times, and then starting relaxing all the part of my body, starting from my head, my neck, my broad shoulders, my abdomen, and both my legs, and to the end of the toes. After my body is been relaxing, I start with my mind. I put my mind at the center of the body and keep it stand still. It can be anything. I usually visualize the bright object, such as a crystal ball, or even I can imagine visualizing about the soccer ball, or can be anything that you like. It can be a flowers. The important thing is that to keep your mind stand still at the body and feeling really relaxed and comfort inside the body. Your mind stands still and don't have to think about anything. Just relax, and later on the happiness will come, and you too can feel the happiness. And there are also the benefit about meditation. Meditation helps me a lot in the daily life, working or studying, even reading, whatever activities you are doing. You can also put your mind at the standstill point. That means you can also meditate while you are doing something. For example, when you are reading, your eyes are at the letters. Keep reading, but the mind is standstill at the center of the body, which is the best place for the mind to be residing. And when you do something else, even when you talk to your friends, you can also meditate while you are talking. So this way, it helps you focus on everything. You won't lose your consciousness. Everything you do when you talk, you know what you are talking. And when you make mistake, you also know that you are making mistake. So it's very helpful in working and many things. And meditation helps me calm from anger. For example, me and my friends, we are having conflict, but it will take longer time for me to get anger from my friends. So this is very helpful. During that time, I can be more conscious. Before I getting angry, I can even get rid of it right away. So this is very helpful. Many times it happens to me. The reason I meditate every day, because it helps me. It helps my mind and my body. I'm also very healthy after meditating. Meditation helps me in many ways. it helps my mind to be clear all day. And that's where the happiness comes. It comes from the beginning. It started from the inside of my body, where I visualized the object. Start spreading out throughout my body. I feel very happy. And many times I get angry, or if sometimes I feel like not comfortable on that day. So whenever I feel uncomfortable, the meaning uncomfortable doesn't mean physical uncomfortable. It means the mind, the uncomfortable from the mind. So I knew it. I start meditate. So probably at least about 30 minutes. Then after my mind, everything is calmed, I feel happier. So most of the time I can resolve the problem by just sit down and meditate for at least 30 minutes. It'll be good after that. So it's very simple, very easy. You don't have to think about anything. Just sit down there and relax. Don't have to care about anything. Don't have to think about anything. Just relax your mind at the center of the body and let it be. Whatever it happens. Many times when your mind starts wandering, it's easy. Just open your eyes and then start focusing again. If you feel like exhausted from sitting for a long time, just move it a little bit. Just simple. It's not that you have to do this way, this way, this way. No. Just whatever you feel comfortable, just do it. And feel happiness inside of your body, inside yourself. So the reason I'm here today is to share the experience about meditation. And I think it will be helpful for many people, especially people who don't know or never experienced about the meditation. So give it a try. And you feel by yourself. Nobody can tell you or teach you. All we can do is just letting you know about there is a meditation method to practice in this planet. So all you have to do is just give it a try, and you feel it, and you feel the happiness inside of yourself. After that, you will feel like you want to tell everybody to meditate, just like me. สวัสดีครับ
Sawadee-ka. My name is Vera Rungchagul, and we're on the tour of Wat Pratamakai in Pathum Thani, Thailand. Today, I'm taking you further inside to find the spirit of peace in the land of Lord Buddha, or the kingdom of Dharma, called Ubosot. After entering the gate, if you follow this road, you'll find a white, majestic building that uplifts your spirit and mind by its simplicity and its unique design. It is these 4 boundary stones at each corner of the Ubosot that marks the sacred land bestowed by the King of Thailand to Buddhism. Thus, it is no longer governed by the law of the country, but rather by the truth of life, called the Dharma of the Lord Buddha. The main Buddha image, representing the Lord Buddha himself, is enshrined in the Ubosot. Monks use the Ubosot for ordinations and for their prayers. Lay people also like to sit close to the building for meditation. We say that the Ubosot is a symbol of the Triple Gem and of the 4 groups of Buddhist disciples called Putta Bodhisattva, as the spirit of the Lord Buddha, the living Dharma, can be found in the prayers of the monks. On important Buddhist ceremonies, such as the ordination ceremony you can see here, relatives of those ordaining as monks and novices will join the ceremony inside. Thus, this makes the Ubosot the gathering place of the whole of Buddhism, composed of monks, novices, laymen, and laywomen. Thais consider the Ubosot a sacred place, ruled and enriched by the ultimate truth of life. Whoever comes to visit the Wat Pratamakai must first come and pay his respects to the most important figure, the Lord Buddha, here at the Ubosot. The spirit of peace lives here in the Ubosot. That is why the Ubosot is the heart of Wat Pratamakai, because this is the place where men become monks by vowing to uphold and to practice the Buddha's teachings with the ultimate goal of enlightenment. As a monk, he becomes a crucial part of the Triple Gem. These ceremonies are witnessed by the Lord Buddha himself. And so, I would like for you to come and visit the Ubosot for yourself, to experience the true spirit of peace, the true spirit of Buddhism, the truth of life. สวัสดีค่ะ
Thank you for joining us. That's the end of the program today. If you would like to give us comment or suggestion, please do not hesitate to write via meditationforall@hotmail.com สวัสดีค่ะ